he gets on the phone and he's talking to Master Sergeant, and I see him over there. He's talking on the phone, and he's like, "Oh, Karosky," which is my name, obviously, and he's like, "Disqualified?" And he's like, "Okay, thank you, Master Sergeant," and he puts it down, and I'm like, oh, I get all nervous, start kind of shaking. I'm like, no way. There's like no way I got disqualified. I haven't done anything wrong. There's nothing in my background. There's nothing that would get me disqualified, and it was confusing me. Hey, what's up everyone? Simeon Karosky back with another video, and I know it's been a pretty long time since my last video. I was going through MCT, Marine Combat Training, and getting that out of the way, and also moving over to my MOS school that I'm currently at right now. And it hasn't been too hectic, but it's just the process of moving. I haven't been able to find time to film. But now that I'm at MOS school, it should be a lot easier for me to actually make some videos and bring out some content for y'all. So if you have any questions about anything, you want me to do some workouts or anything, just hit me up on social media at Simeon_Karosky, on Instagram, Snapchat, any platform, and I'll try to answer to the best of my ability, and also possibly make some videos on it. So yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for the success on the last video. It's gotten over 35,000 views. Sorry, I can barely speak. About 35,000 views, and I went from like 350 subs to like 1.4K, and a lot of y'all liked that video, so it was a boot camp experience video if you want to go back and watch it. But yeah, thank y'all so much for giving that attention, and for all the new people here, thank you for subscribing. But today, for this topic, is a very important topic, is how to get the exact job you wanted in the Marine Corps. And this can be a difficult process, so I just want to explain to you, like, when you go see your recruiter, and like what you should do in order to get the exact job you want. It's going to be really hard, but I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible for you to get the job you prefer. But right away, I'm gonna say, like, most of the time it's hard to get the exact job you want in the Marine Corps. Like, it's most likely not gonna happen, because in the Marine Corps, you unless you're a reservist, this does happen for reservists, but when you're active duty, a lot of times you pick like an entire general field of jobs, not the specific job. Now, that's not every case. I mean, you could maybe get a specific MOS, a specific job, but it's going to be a lot harder most of the time. So like, for instance, like combat engineer, the CP field is it's like combat engineer / construction worker. So you could either you could be an actual combat engineer, you could be kind of like a forklift driver, you could even be working on like water purification systems. Like, there's it's a broad area of jobs you could get selected for, and it's hard to actually pick the specific one you want. And that same goes for infantry. Like, you can probably sign a specific contract for like 0311 rifleman, but you could get machine gunner or something like that. It's not a specific job that you sign for. It's going to be the general field. And for me, my contract was aviation support, so I could have either gotten aviation ordnance, crash fire rescue, aviation crash fire rescue. Like, there's a bunch of different jobs I could have been selected for, but the one I ended up getting selected for, I'll talk towards the end of the video. But yeah, but the general idea, like, you can't really, unless you're a reservist, you can't really pick the exact job you want. It's going to be just the general field. So just talk to your recruiter, let him know that you want what specific job you want, and try to have him work with it. But most of the time, I don't think you're actually going to get it. It's going to be the whole field. So, but yeah, and then also another very important thing to get the exact job you want is, I can't stress this enough, it's something I didn't do. I waited in the DEP program, the delayed entry program, for over 9 months, because I wasn't straightforward with exactly what I wanted and saying that that's all I was going to take. So if you want to be military police, tell them straight up when you go, after you swear in, or before you swear in, tell them straight up that, no, I'm only going to take military police and I'm not going to leave unless I have military police, and just wait for an opening of ship date for that. So yeah, just be patient, because you can wait for an opening. Like, you don't have to leave at that specific ship date. You can actually wait and get your ship date changed so that you, in order to get the job you want. I know this is kind of like a scattered all over the place video, and I'm just kind of bouncing around on topics, but I don't have a lot of time to make this video. But I'm just trying to give you the information you need in order, if you're going to go see a recruiter, just to be successful in trying to get the job you want. Because this is a very important topic, and it's very important to get the job you want in the military. So yeah, now that you know most of that stuff, I'm going to kind of explain my situation when I was in the delayed entry program. Now, I've had 2 recruiters, both of them really good, focused, seemed like they actually cared about my situation and stuff. But the problem is I was in Texas, a recruiting station in Texas, probably the biggest one in Texas, over in North Texas, and it's very competitive. Meaning that if someone is there before you and they're waiting on a job, they're going to get it before you, no matter how good you score on your tests and stuff like that. So there were so many police waiting to leave, and that just cut out the options for me as far as jobs. Now, I was supposed to leave in July of that year, but only logistics, administration, and infantry were available for me. So I just told my recruiter, I said, I can't take one of these jobs. I'm not going to do it. Can you move my ship date so that I can have more options, because I really don't want to do administration or logistics, something like that, in the Marine Corps. So he helped me out, and he was able to switch mine over to October, but still, I hit the same thing. It was logistics, administration, not that many jobs available. Motor T, they really wanted me to take Motor T, communications, stuff like that, but I still didn't want to go. I wanted one of my jobs that I wanted. I wanted aviation support, I wanted avionics, or I wanted military police. Military police was one like towards the end of what I wanted, but it's not really one of my top options. So what happened is I moved to that, and still nothing was available because of the Marine Corps. As I said, it's really competitive, and there's not a lot of spots open. So you might have to wait a pretty long time to get exactly what you want. But it definitely depends on your on where you live, your RSS, and all that. Just make sure you ask your recruiter and get all that information. So it came over to October, same thing, couldn't get the job I wanted, and then it moved over to my ship date got switched to December 9th and then I really wanted to go. I got impatient, and I took combat engineer. So combat engineer / construction worker, and I advise you not to do what I did. Don't just settle. Actually wait for what you want, because that was one of the ones on my list, but it was behind aviation support and avionics, and it wasn't one of my top ones. So I really think I did make a mistake, but all in all, it ended up working out for me like a miracle, because the day I shipped out, and this probably will never happen, it's not going to happen much, I just got really lucky. The day I left and I was about to sign my actual contract, what happened is I was in line. You go to MAPS before you ship out, the military interest processing station, and right as I was waiting in line to sign my official contract at the very end for my combat engineer, right before I left the boot camp, I was in line, and two friends there were like, from a different recruiting station, were like, hey, or they said one of their friends didn't show up or something like that. He reported that he had been doing like drugs or something like that. So they said like he was getting disqualified and he wasn't going to boot camp. And they said the contract he had was aviation support. I'm like, oh shoot. I'm like, I would do anything for that contract. That's the one I wanted. And I didn't even think about it, but as we were going through the line to sign our contracts, one of the Marine Corps liaisons, which is the people that control all the paperwork and keep everything in order at the military interest processing station, he gets on the phone and he's talking to Master Sergeant. And I see him over there, he's talking on the phone, and he's like, oh, Karosky, which is my name, obviously. And he's like, disqualified? And he's like, okay, thank you, Master Sergeant. and he puts it down. And I'm like, oh, I get all nervous, start kind of shaking. I'm like, no way. There's like no way I got disqualified. I haven't done anything wrong. There's nothing in my background. There's nothing that would get me disqualified, and it was confusing me. But he's like, Karofsky, I want you to come over here and talk to the master sergeant. He's on the phone. And I'm like, dang, what the heck? What's happening? Like, there's no way. And I was just getting super nervous. And I go there, I'm like, and I get on the phone. I'm like, good afternoon, sir. How are you doing? Or I don't know what I said. I was like, good afternoon, sir. And he's like, hey, Karofsky. And he's like, I need you to do me a favor. And I'm like, oh gosh. I'm like, what is gonna happen? Like, what favor does he want? I'm like, yeah, sir, definitely. And he's like, I need you to take an aviation support contract. Are you willing to give up your combat engineer contract for that? Because I need someone to take this. He's like, unfortunately, we had someone that got disqualified today, and we thought you would be a good fit to take this contract. I'm like, definitely. Like, I got really excited about it, and right then and there on the spot, took the aviation support contract for 4 years. It was exactly the contract I wanted. Like, it was crazy and like mind-blowing, because like I'd been praying to God to get me that contract, and I had worked for that contract for 9 months and still couldn't get it. So it was just really crazy that that's exactly what I wanted, and somehow that was given to me at the last moment. But I mean, overall, like with this video, like I'm just gonna say, don't do what I did. Don't just hope for a miracle like that. Like that was just like crazy, and I got lucky in that situation. And but that's not always gonna happen. Like, I want you, if you're looking for an MOS and there's something you really want, push for that, and like only settle for that one, because that job's gonna be what you're gonna be doing for the next 4 years, and make sure it's something that you want to learn and actually do out in the civilian world after you're done, or you want to do for the next 20 years if you want to stay in. So yeah, just take that seriously, and everything should be good. But just it can be a stressful process trying to get the job you want, and you can feel pressured to take another job. But I just say wait. Like, it's best to wait, and make sure you get what you want. It's really important, and you'll thank me later for it. And also, before I end the video, a lot of y'all don't know where I'm going to school right now, don't even know my job, but I'll just go over it real quick, and I'll probably explain my job later, the details of what I'm going to school for. And it's Aviation Ordnance 6500 in the aviation sport field. You work on a lot of weaponry that goes on aircraft, and I'm over in Pensacola, Florida, on the Naval Air Station. So it's really cool over here. I'm actually enjoying it a lot, being over here. And like, the chow hall food is really good, and the people everyone in charge is like actually really good here, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And I start school pretty soon, and yeah, I'm just ready to start the process. But yeah, thank you for watching the video, and hopefully I'll make another one soon. Just comment down below which videos you want to see. If you want to see workouts, you want me to answer some questions about the military, anything like that. I do not claim to be an expert. I've only been in the military for like 6 months, but from what I do know, I'll try to help you the best as possible. And thank you so much. So I'll see you in the next video.